What's up YouTube, Playmatter here, and today I'm bringing you this video of Nekroz versus Ritual Beast. And today I am playing my going first list. The only changes are that I'm playing 3 Royal Decree and a Denko Sekka in the main deck. And I know the Denko Sekka isn't strictly, well, at all for going first, but those are the 4 cards I'm playing instead of 3 Mind Crush and the Vanity's Emptiness, just because I feel that I'm going to go against more Rogue at Nationals than I am against Nekroz, so I really want to prepare my main deck for that, and I still want to take first because pretty much every Rogue deck wants to take the first turn. And if I can get a Royal Decree set on them, I can pretty much win. Or if I can summon a Denko Sekka in my second turn, then I can pretty much win. So here you can see the game. Obviously, yeah, you might get a little bit confused depending on how fast this Ritual Beast player plays, because it is a sped up game because it was a long game. So if you can't follow it, then that's unfortunate, but hopefully you can. He's played this anti-spell fragrance, so I set all my spells and literally just plowing my way through them one at a time at the moment. So yeah, he mind crushes the Shret, and I'm like, damn it. And at this point, I probably should have got rid of this Denko Sekka to summon the Unicorn rather than using Cycle to discard my Unicorn to grab it to special summon a Unicorn. But never mind. It doesn't prove to be that much different a scenario. And yep, so I draw into the class and search for the Cycle again because I know that I can cycle into Unicorn just for some extra damage, really. He's already under the Decree, so I don't need that Sekka, and at least then he can't just normal summon a Leo and attack over me. He'd have to crash. Yep, so there we go. It's game at that point. So here's my deck. You can have a little look through it and a little look through my side. I'm currently siding the Fire and Ice Hands for the Seraphs and the Maxis against the Seraphs. I really want to find space for a third Maxi, but I can't think what I would want to take out of this side deck at the moment. But yeah, so those are the cards I side in against Ritual Beast, Maxis, and Denko Sekka. So I take first turn, or I'm given first turn by him, which is good because if I do manage to draw into that Decree, then I'll have the Decree. I like to start with a Sentry, obviously. We play six Jews for a reason, and it just lets me set up my grave with a Classless. And they're all saying, that was a good comeback in game 1. With that sort of, he has this huge set 5 field, and I'm like, okay, cool, Royal Decree, everything. Even my opponent was, we both really enjoyed this game. At this point, I'm like, okay, well, do I let my Unicorn die or not? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to let him die, because at least then he can't just he has to bounce his Canna Hawk. Not the whole reason why I think the whole reason I'm trying this game to keep a Unicorn on the field is so that he has to, if he wants to search, he has to bounce away his Ritual again, and waste that kind of opportunity of just ending his turn with the Ritual on the field. And then there's a little bit of confusion here because he's like F Elder and when I'm like, are you using their effects? I don't quite understand what you're saying. And then we kind of go through that, and he explains what he was talking about. So I'm like, okay, right, I think I understand now. In my standby phase, he kills that Unicorn. He goes for the Unicorn, but he decides to only destroy my Senju. So I'm like, right, okay, whatever. Sorry, only my Unicorn. Meaning that I can't search from the grave. I can't search a Ritual spell. So I'm like, okay, summon the Manju, and I've got the Exciton Knight play. But I'm kind of thinking, should I be going for Exciton Knight or not? And then there's this kind of interaction. Phoenix Chain. Do I chain MST? So I chain the MST, and then he thinks about that for a moment. So I'm like, damn it, he's got the Vela as well. I really wanted to get that search off, but obviously it didn't happen. Exciting Knight still works if I want to play the rest of his field, but I'm really worried that that back row is like a solemn warning, and I just want to make sure that card is gone. So Diamond Direwolf has got to, has got to kill it. So yeah, I think maybe in hindsight, now that I know that it was a Steeds, and perhaps I already knew that, but I definitely didn't have it in my mind that I knew for a fact that it was Steeds. Yeah, perhaps it would have been better to go into Exciting Knight and destroy everything apart from the Dolphin, because the Dolphin doesn't die to card effects. But yeah, I'm not sure personally which I should have done. But instead I just make the Unicorn. I search, I've got Bryonac in hand, so I can search whatever else I need next turn, and attack the Leo, so that at least the Leo is off the field, and he has to, he may or may not be able to Leo next turn as a result. So he does more Ritual Beast stuff, and makes the Ape Leo guy. So I decide to Valkyrius because there's the option between whether I Valk and whether I let Unicorn die so that I can search. And again, I wanted to protect the Unicorn. I think perhaps I should have let Unicorn die, and then I'd have had 4 cards in my following hand with the search from the grave. So yeah, I just didn't really know how much more he could do this turn, just because I had Unicorn face up, or at least he didn't search the trap. So I'm like, okay, right, end my turn. He does that in the end phase. He's got a Phoenix Chain in his own turn, which I drop the Trish on to try and stop him from being able to stop my Unicorn. So he can't use, he can't OTK me that turn because I saved Unicorn that turn with Trish from being Phoenix Chained. And Phoenix Chain negates the activation of, Trish negates the activation of Phoenix Chain, which is why Phoenix Chain is still floating. So he's got, okay, right, set 3 more. I'm like, I'm in trouble. Like, I really don't have an awful lot here. So I set my Shrit, and he hasn't got anything in hand, so I go for the Valkyrius attack, and he has the Steeds. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Which obviously he searched with the little hawk dude thing. So I'm like, okay, I knew he had that, but let's see where this goes. Maxi draws me into Maxi, so he doesn't do much in his own end phase, and then when he tries to do more in his turn, I try and Maxi so that I can draw into Valkyrius, but it just doesn't happen. So that's the end of that game. Here's my deck again for anyone who didn't catch it the first time. And the MSTs were also added in. They're not mained. So I elect to go first again. This time opening 2 Bryonac. It's a little bit cloggy, but it's okay. Like, Bryonac will be live again the following turn. It's just not anything I can use twice this turn. So I'm like, okay, Unicorn, Klaus, set MST, go. I know that it's not a +1. It's a total -1, but he can't special summon, and as far as I'm concerned, that's very, very good for me. This is a really grindy, interesting game. I find it a really interesting game. He has several opportunities. That was the first to destroy my Ginlock, but is purely trying to keep his Classless alive. So his not Classless, his Canahawk alive, which is really interesting because I know for a fact that he's got a really bad hand as well. So he's kind of spending a really long time stocking up on options and monsters and traps, and in the meantime I'm constantly trying to kill this Canahawk, and he's just, every time that he has a card that could get rid of my Classless, he has to use it to keep himself alive because he hasn't got anything to do even after my Ginlock dies. So I'm like, okay, I have got Denica I could just attack over his Canahawk now, but why do that when I can let him add cards to his hand, because he's currently searching for traps now. So he's gone for his first steeds, he's gone for his second steeds. You know, he can't even set those cards, and I can end phase MST the steeds when he first sets it. You know, why would I summon Denko Sekka when I know it's just going to get killed by Thunder King? So I'm waiting for the opportunity to get a Valkyrius to hand, or any other way around what he's currently got in his field. A ritual spell or something like that. So I MST the steeds, set Decree. I've got which I draw into, which is, you know, a really good draw. So he's still adding traps to his hand. He's using, you know, he's used the Hawk again to banish the ambush, and he's now using Rampengu as well to you know, thin his deck and try and draw into his side cards. I'm like, okay, summon. He goes straight for the steeds. So I'm like, chain Decree. You know, that's the best way I could have possibly done it, because now that's his third steeds gone. He's got no steeds left, and if I'd have just if I'd have gone a Decree first, he'd have it on the field, so if at any point he did destroy my Decree, then he would still have that steeds there. And I think that's one of the most important things in this whole game, is that particular interaction that's just happened. Obviously I drew into the Valkyrius, so I've decided to summon Denko Sekka to attack over the Hawk. The Hawk's dead. I'm happy. I can Valk, and he has the Twister for the Decree, but doesn't have any more spells of his own. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll MST your back row. You can't say anything else while Denko's alive. So he really picks up momentum again, and but has no way of getting over this Klaus. He's got rid of his steeds. He hasn't got an out to you know, he's got rid of his all of his outs to the Genlock classless. I'm like, at this point, are we really going to go through 17 turns of, like, you know, deck out here? And then he switches his cards to defense mode. I'm like, really? Thunder King Ryo to defense mode? Like, if you hadn't have done that, this game would be completely different. But he decided to move his Thunder King to defense mode, I guess, just in case I did, you know, have the ability to trish him, because I do have the Shuriken Grave. So yeah, I start using all my search cards because I've killed his Thunder King in main phase 2. I've got a lot of options here. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do, but I have to set them before I do anything anyway, so I've got a little bit of time to think. I don't care if he kills that, so I'm not going to Valk that. I'd rather have the Valk in hand because I've got a Nekroz cycle and a Nekroz mirror. So I'd obviously summon the Valk with a mirror if I wanted to summon Valk at all. I go straight for the Gungnir so that I can keep myself alive if he does happen to draw any of the outs to classless. And then I use cycle to summon a Valk from the grave instead, and then search because I've still got a Trish in deck. So now I've got Gungnir, I've got Trish. That classless isn't going anywhere, and he literally hasn't got any of his cards that would destroy it left, I don't think. Maybe he's got a Regeki, maybe he's got a Dark Hole. I don't think he plays Dark Hole. I think it was just Regeki that he was waiting on, but he clearly doesn't have it yet. So yeah, he mirror forces. I'm like, okay, I'm not wasting Gungnir. You can't do anything while classless is out, so I might as well just wait because I still have my own Nekroz mirror. So I go for the mirror, and I'm still thinking, okay, my cards are completely protected as long as I keep Trishula and Gungnir in hand. So I managed to kill the Pengu, and I use Unicorn to add back a Shrit, and then I don't have any more warriors in deck, so I don't search with Shrit. I was actually expecting a Mind Crush there, and because I wanted to get that Mind Crush out of the way so that Gungnir and Trishula were under no threat whatsoever. And that obviously, like, if he calls Gungnir, I can just chain the Gungnir, but you know, that's not the point. He can then force my Gungnir. He has the MST for my second Decree, which is quite upsetting. He makes his Apoleo 23, attacks over my Senju, and yeah, like I say, really interesting grind game going on here. I haven't got anything left to search with Manju. He finished chains my monster, so I'm like, okay, Trishula, keep my Valk from being finished chained. Attack directly. He's got 100 life points left. I'm like, you know, what can I do to get? He draws a turn and he just hasn't got anything else left. He didn't draw anything that would help him win the game. And yeah, it was a really, really, really interesting and really enjoyable game to be in. But yeah, I mean, this was my 600th win, and it was a really good game, in matches unrated, I mean. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, Play Matters, signing out.